And you just get the feeling there's a disconnect with the supporters. They're not en masse. They're just not buying into Critchley. I don't think they've got faith in him. I think the more these results pile up, and granted, I think after going down to 10 men on Saturday, at least there was a bit of fight and character and effort, and I think the Hearts fans responded well to that. But the bottom line is they've walked away defeated again. Another really painful result to add to a whole line of painful results that they've had this season. I would hate to see Hearts getting dragged into it at the bottom of the table, but I would really worry for them. If they don't start with a positive result, and if they do that, and if they take care of Dundee, they get the 3 points, well, everybody can just start digging out their flip-flops and heading for the beach. But if they failed to do that against Dundee, and if they're defeated on their home pitch by a Dundee side which is sitting in 11th right now, I think it starts to become really squeaky bumty. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And just to back up your, saying about the Hearts fans, you don't feel that they're taking to Critchley. Got a couple of comments here. Liam says, don't care what anyone says. Forget the red cards. Critchley, this is on you. It's time to go. Rab Moore says, now the dust is settled. Empty Critchley today. Thought it was going to take it to the end of the season. No ifs, no buts. Why drag this out any longer? But I would just throw in, Keith, obviously there's been a lot of talk since yesterday about the refereeing display from John Beaton yesterday. Frank says, just watched the game at Hampden, was very surprised that Hearts had 2 players sent off. I've been going to football since 1955. If those were bookings and sending off offences, then I'm done. Potentially very good game ruined by an overzealous official. And friend of the show, Kyle Gunn, says John Beaton's refereeing performance was absolutely dreadful. Way worse than he usually is, and that is saying something. To send Devlin off for those 2 yellow cards was daylight robbery. So, can Neil Critchley perhaps point to the officials yesterday? And
I don't think the Devlin sending off, I agree. I don't think, certainly the second yellow, I don't know what John Beaton's thinking about, because, Devlin's a competitive wee guy, isn't he? And he puts himself about and, he's a good bet for a yellow card most times he walks on a football pitch. But there was no malice in that. I think his eyes were fixed on the ball. It's gone over his shoulder. It's just not a booking. But at that point, the damage is already done. And I think that the red card, was it Steinbender? I think it is a red card. I think John Beaton's correct to make that decision. I've looked at it from a few various angles. And to me, Keskinen is getting in. He's getting in behind. And, there's another Hearts defender at Forrester's trying to move across, but he's actually going in the wrong direction. For me, Keskinen's getting on to the end of that, and he's got the pace to carry him towards the penalty area. I think it's a goal scoring opportunity. Look, do you know what? I've seen a lot worse decisions made. For me, that's my first viewing, and then repeatedly looking at the slow-mos. I think it's a red card. I think it's the right decision. I think it's a stupid tackle, actually. And he's only got himself to blame for it. He's certainly given the referee a chance to bring the red card out. And for me, I think it's merited. I know Hearts did respond, as I said, and they put on a spirited performance to take the thing as far as they ended up taking it. But they never looked like they actually believed that they were going to get the result. They were hanging in with 10. And I think it's their own doing. So they need to, I tell you what, they can't afford to feel sorry for themselves. They need to dust themselves down. They need to get themselves back up off the floor, and they need to attack the first game back in the post-split fixtures. Because if they're feeling sorry for themselves going into that, I guarantee you Dundee won't go into that feeling sorry for themselves. They're going to have, an attitude. They know that they're fighting for their lives. And if Hearts have got a few bruised egos or tired legs or wrong attitudes, it could be a kind of one of those days that kind of shakes them back to life a little bit. Because, as I said, as I keep saying, I'm not sure that they're as safe as some people are making out just yet.
And just finally on Critchley, look, this is just my opinion, nothing on it, and I hope I'm wrong for the record, because you don't like to see managers getting sacked and Hearts changing managers every 5 minutes. But we talked about this Tony Bloom, 10 million quid getting invested. Just personally, I just can't see Neil Critchley being the man taking that forward. I just don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. I'm sure he's a very good coach. But just the way things have gone, I think it's going to take a lot for him to recover from this position.
It's not been a good season for him, has it? Now, he came in and he steadied the ship. I actually think, and I don't know how the model will work at Hearts in terms of who has the final say-so in terms of, right, supercomputers identified this one, that one, and that one. Does Critchley get involved in that discussion? Is Critchley just a head coach who takes whatever players are put onto the training ground? Does he have a say in it? So these are all going to be interesting things.